So I just heard that Jordan Peterson has just checked in to rehab. And in this video, I want to touch on something that his daughter said that the whole world needs to wake up to. Stay tuned. Hi, this is Simon Lovell, bringing you growth and happiness so that you can live your best life. As always, hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell. And guys, if you enjoy this video, please like it, please comment. Why? Not because I determine my self-worth on those things, but I want to help more people, and it does that kind of YouTube algorithm thing. So, I just watched a video, first of all from Joe Rogan, and then to his daughter, where I heard that Jordan Peterson has checked himself into rehab. And there was something in the video from his daughter that she said that I want to talk about. First of all, I want to send my love and positive energy and healing energy and just positive messages to Jordan and his family for what they're going through at the moment. And, you know, I know that the media and, you know, other people are going to start talking about this, and I think that we just all need to, in the world, have some empathy and some love, right, rather than going into judgment. And what she said in this video was absolutely key, which was, first of all, he checked in, right? He checked into rehab. He had the awareness to go, do you know what? I've taken this drug, and now this is happening to me, and I'm going to ask for help. I'm going to raise my hand. And that's one of the biggest struggles that we go through in life, is that we don't have the courage to just hold our hand up and say, do you know what? That's what I need to do for myself, so I can create the space to get myself better. And it's very easy to judge someone, right, that's written books and been in, you know, personal development and is changing more lives. What we need to focus on, which is the lives that Jordan has impacted. Because here's the truth. When we don't like, you know, what someone says or the way that they do things, it's because we haven't experienced their life. Me, for example, I'm not a doctor, but I've healed through addictions, cocaine, gambling, drugs, smoking, all of it. It's not part of my life anymore. And I did that a certain way, okay? And I'm going to share with you the steps in this video of how I did that. And if that resonates with you, then take that approach, right? Take that approach. But what she said about checking in, right, and actually doing that ourselves is so key. But she also said something else, which was because he wanted to clear this up as fast as possible. When I was in the completely unaware stage of my life, and I was just on, I call it life autopilot, I was just in such a dark place. I can remember when I was, you know, I was a personal trainer, I was also a DJ, and one of my darkest moments was when I went to get drugs from my dealer, and he said, do you know the guy that was here the week before? He hung himself from a tree because he was just such in a bad place with his mental health. And even that, in that moment, because I was so addicted to drugs and just this lifestyle that I had, not even that got me to want to stop. So this is what I did. I had a wake-up call, and that was in 2010. I'd been partying the night before, it was Christmas, and I was still high from the drugs, and I had to be at my sister's house for Christmas, and I remember looking in the mirror. My eyes were bloodshot. There was sweat dripping down my face. My heart was pounding. And anyone who's gone through drug addiction will understand what happens, right? Super paranoid. Starts off as a high, but then you start going through all this paranoia. And, you know, I went to my sister's house for Christmas, and I ended up walking up the stairs, getting into my nephew's bed. The kids were downstairs, you know, spending day, having a great day with Christmas, and I just wanted to sleep. I was exhausted, and I left that day. Do you know what? I was ashamed of myself, but there was a voice that crept in, and this is the voice oftentimes which is important, right? When we're in something which is pain, which is that voice which says, And it said to me, what are you doing with life? You've got to make a change. And that's the window of opportunity. That's when we have to go, do you know what? I need to ask for help, or I need to make a move. So for me, right, I needed to create space for myself, because at that time, I wasn't strong enough to not say no to the triggers of the Friday night and all of those things. So I took a window of opportunity, and that window was when I spoke to a friend, and he said that his girlfriend had just moved out, they'd broken up, and I could move in. And so I moved from the area that I was living in, and I changed my environment. And in that environmental change, it just created space for me to be able to focus on something different. So I just got my business back on track. I started to work again. I started to surround myself with different people. And it wasn't that I completely stopped the drugs and the alcohol and the drinking. It's that I reduced it, right? And that's important, creating space so that it starts to reduce. And then what happened was I started to invest in myself. I spent more time in education and learning. I do these daily videos. Why? Because I've invested over $250,000 in personal development and my own growth and my spiritual healing, right? I've not ever been to a doctor to heal myself. I've done it all holistically. And in sharing these videos every day, I keep myself also in a mental space too, which is a high vibration. So I created this space for myself. I started to meditate. I did what most people do. I got an app and I started with 10, 20 minutes, and I started to increase that time. And I invested in myself, in my business. And what I noticed was that the more I spent educating myself, the more I started investing in myself, I started to heal. And a massive change for me came, yes, through the consistency of meditation and just education around mindset and reading books and all of that, which increases our self-awareness. But it's from the action that we take, and also accessing that intuition that we have to make a move and not be in fear. So one of the massive shifts in consciousness and awareness that I had came when I went to Peru and I did ayahuasca. And at that stage, back in 2015, when that happened, I was drinking, I was taking drugs, I was just in not a great place. And when I left Peru, what I noticed in the weeks afterwards was that I did just that desire for alcohol just wasn't there as much, right? I always use the phrase, it kind of like cut it by like 80%, because my pattern was drink, smoke, drugs, gamble. That was my sequence. And we all have a sequence in the way that we do things. So for me, going and doing that really jump-started something for me. So then I could actually go out and I wouldn't binge drink. I could just go out and have a couple of drinks. Again, just creating that space for me to be able to start to go deeper. So then I did a Vipassana 10-day meditation retreat. And what I love about Vipassana is that it's by donation. You immerse yourself, and immersion is really key, right? So yes, we can change our environment, but sometimes we need to get out and immerse ourselves without our phone, without any distractions, because it's all around what we're exposed to. Life brings us down based on what we're exposed to all the time. So if we're on social media all the time, of course, that's going to trigger our comparison, right? We create this highlight reel of what success is. And for me, I thought that success was everything extrinsic, right? Cars, homes, all of that. And I had this warped view of what success was. And I had to really heal myself, heal the little boy that at 13 had been bullied through an event that happened in the school shower where someone accused me of something. And in that moment, I put on a shell. And I say that sometimes it takes a moment to put on a shell in a second, and it took me 30 years to break through it. And my journey was through, all of the things that I've done to get to, where I've got to now, which is no drugs, no addictions, apart from I use my phone a bit too much. But, I just made this commitment, and I was willing to hold up my hand and say, do you know what, I need help. And that was me reaching out, because in the state of fear, we need the first step to bring us energy is to move into courage, right? We have to have the courage. And when we start to have that courage, it starts to compound on itself. So then I did Vipassana, and the more that I started to meditate, as I went deeper into my meditation, not just 20 minutes, and I did another video on this, right? I was able to go into my meditation and start to heal, and all of those things that I suppressed, right? I started to bring up and release. And what really shifted for me and helped me to really awaken and go through my Kundalini spiritual awakening was releasing the shame about the sexual experience that I had when I was young. And I call it a black ball. I'd gone to this event and I'd played these connection games with a group of people. And in that game, there was a game called Anybody Else. And you stand in a circle and you step into the circle and you say something like, you know, I fear rejection, and because of that, I sabotage relationships. And anyone else that felt the same way would step in. And it's through that self-expression, because so much transformation happens through the throat, through that self-expression, we start to accept our story, because we put ourselves in a box. And we think that we're the only person that have gone through those things. And through this self-expression, and through releasing my black ball, which is around this sexual experience what I had when I was young, I integrated, I came home to the person that was truly me. There's a quote which is, depressed is the need for deep rest from the character that we've been playing in the world. And I was playing a character, right? It was a version of me that I created, a construct that I created that wasn't really based on my heart. So I had to spend a lot of time, you know, feeling again, right? Not protecting myself, feeling, like living from my heart. And it was about consistency, right? Yes, having those wake-up moments and making those difficult decisions, and it's those decisions that we make that really catapult us, right? Yeah, I'm going to go to Peru. Yes, I'm going to move away, right? It's all of those things that we fear. And then through consistent meditation, I can remember the moment that I decided to give up drinking, it was just this awareness shift. I'd gone to a party the night before and I woke up and I just had this epiphany of, if I want to truly get to the place that I want to get to and impact people with a level of depth that I want to impact them, I noticed the pattern, which is, you know, for me, I was drinking and I would go to an event and I would feel anxious. I would be in my head. By the way, the best way to get over that is improv and eye connection through a mirror, right? If you just connect with your eye. And so I would go to an event, I would be super anxious, and people wouldn't get to know me because I was anxious. I was in my head, so I wasn't in my heart. I wasn't connecting with people. So then I would drink, and when I would drink, I wasn't me because I would be taken over by the alcohol, and so I couldn't win. And then when I woke up and I realized that, and I saw the night before and I saw the pattern, like it was in an instant. And so people often ask me, you know, how difficult was it to give up alcohol? I didn't go through a 12-step program. I didn't go to a doctor. I didn't take pills. I didn't do any of that. For me, my approach to heal through all of my addictions and truly get to a place in my life where I don't feel now in my body like I'm trying to get anywhere. Like it's not, like I was always searching, like why am I not here? I feel complete because of those steps that I took, which is around that self-acceptance, around that expression, just owning my journey, owning everything that I've been through and not making it wrong. You know, making the decision, living in the 1.5 acre property with a Ferrari outside and actually going, do you know what? I'm now aware that that isn't me and I need to kill off what my ego is desiring. And in that second, the moment I decided, again, decision, the moment I decided to move out of the home, the big home, let go of the car, I stopped comparing myself to other people. It was just gone. Again, because I went for what I wanted, not the vision of what other people wanted, not what I built in my head of what success was. Because you know what, when I got the Ferrari, you know, I got the first Ferrari when I moved to California, and then I got the second Ferrari when my relationship broke down. Isn't that interesting, right? Something breaks down, and what do we do to fill the void? I found something extrinsic, another car, a bigger car. And then I got everything that I thought that I wanted, and I was asking this question, where am I leading people to? You know? And it was in that moment that I suddenly realized, like, I really need to heal that little boy that was the bully, that it doesn't feel good enough. So I wanted to share this video to share my journey, but also just to share like whatever you need to do, okay? Jordan, he had an immense, need for whatever he needed to do. So let's not create judgment around that, right? But what he's done is he's gone, you know what? I need to solve this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go check in. What I want you to do, wherever you are in your life right now, we need more people that are willing to check in, that are willing to commit and hold up their hand. And first of all, my suggestion would be go inwards, spend time, close your eyes, learn about meditation, deepen that meditation, start to connect with your heart. And your heart is going to give you the answers of what to do next. The mind, overactive mind, what it does is it takes us out of alignment with who we really are. So we need to tame that. And the way that we do that is we slow everything down because everything's running so fast. We need to change our environment. Oftentimes you may be watching this and like me, maybe it's a decision. Oftentimes it's something that we know, it's come up, right? That voice that's crept in. What is the voice that's crept in that is your highest calling you've ignored? I want you to write it down, post into the comments below, because I want to support you on your journey. And also, if all of us can send some loving, healing energy to Jordan and his family, because I know the family's going through a lot, I think the whole world's just going to be better. And I just want people to be happy and fulfilled and living their best life. Check in, hold up your hand, ask for help, support other people on their journey, give them love. When you feel resentment, just let it go. If there's one thing that I've learned about my journey, it's about the discipline of just letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go. Resentments, people we need to forgive, all of those things. Check out my other videos around forgiveness, around self-awareness, all of that, and just immerse yourself, whether it's my channel or someone else, every single day. Because as Jim Rohn said, you've got to be the guard of the things that go on up here. I've got some other videos coming up for you. Check these out. Also, I wrote a book called The Black Board, Does Anybody Else Have a Secret? And it talks about my spiritual awakening. I want you to have that. Now, you can get it on Amazon, but also I'm going to put a link below where you can download a free PDF copy, which talks about my awakening, my black ball story, and a 3-step process to help you. And also stories from people in there. One story, for example, a lady that I worked with from South Africa, her whole life changed when she finally expressed that shame, something that happened, a sexual assault in South Africa. And I saw her whole life change. She blushed for most of her life, went blood, her head went red, and she finally set herself free through these stages of sharing. And that's all in the Black Ball book. Does anybody else have a secret? Also, there's a list in the back, of things that you may need to open up about and start to talk about. That hugely helped me in my healing journey. Take care. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. If so, hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell to make sure that you get the regular updates. Also, here's a couple of videos that may support you further in your journey. Also, head to modernspiritualman.com where you will find about my deep mission to support men all over the globe. Take it easy and I'll see you very soon.